Hello, welcome back to SportsZone. This is our premier college basketball segment. I'm joined alongside with Deepak, as always, and we are here to talk about the final night of the college basketball season. It is national championship time tonight. Villanova will be taking on the North Carolina Tar Heels for all of the marbles. Deepak, this should be an exciting matchup.
It really should be a great game. Obviously, Villanova, the #1 seed. Lots of people are really looking at this team. Roy Williams himself said it, that this is his favorite team that he's ever coached. He's coached, I believe, 29 years. So he has a lot of faith in them. However, Villanova coming in as well with possibly in what a lot of people are saying is one of the most balanced teams to ever make it to the championship game. I mean, you look at the great win they had over Oklahoma. I think not a single player really blew any of his teammates out in terms of the competition. They were all fairly balanced, and it just everything clicked over a team that even myself, I didn't think the Wildcats could actually come out on top.
Yeah, it should be very interesting to see how they do. The Villanova Wildcats are coming off of a very big, very unprecedented win against the Oklahoma Sooners, 95-51 in a game that really wasn't as close as a score suggestion.
No.
They pretty much contained Buddy Hield. Jay Wright was ecstatic after the win. But Deepak, really take us through that complete Villanova performance.
It really was. Like I said, like you just said, it was a complete performance. Really closing in on Buddy Hield, who, may I also mention, during that game became the Big 12's all-time leading scorer. So congrats to him for that and a great collegiate career. But Jay Wright has really pushed this team. And you look at his seniors, too, with Ryan Arcidiacono and, just leading the pack through them. They're all completely balanced. No one guy really has stood out as that star. Ryan, being the leader of the team, is who everyone always relies on. And with a face, I don't know where I want to go with this because you know me, I was just bubbling before this segment regarding this. With a team like Villanova, you really can't go wrong. Everyone's banking on them. The Simpsons, in their little chalk intro for the show the other night, said if Villanova doesn't win, we lose it all. So I think that says it right there.
And I think we get a very unhappy Deepak Pagat this week if Villanova loses. Your grad school you'll be very upset. I know they are very close, near and dear to your heart as of now. Now, swinging to the other side of the Final Four, you had #1 seeded North Carolina taking on Syracuse. North Carolina coming out on top 83-66. Many people didn't expect Syracuse to even get to that point. Do you think North Carolina kind of had an easier time with their matchup than Villanova did over Oklahoma?
I think that I would actually say no because of this. You just said that Syracuse, a lot of people didn't expect them to make it. They were a 10 seed. If anything, I personally think they should have been seeded a little better. But you're talking about a team that overcame a lot of adversity, especially in the recent years with stuff going on with Syracuse and their basketball program. Here they are. They're now taking on UNC. Sure, UNC beat them fairly easily, but that wasn't without a solid game at first. I think at one point, Syracuse entering the second half rattled off 10 points, 10 unanswered. So you're looking at a game that really went back and forth, unlike the other Final Four game where Nova pulled away and just kept going. So I think that Syracuse really played well. UNC faced a test, but they're in for a bigger challenge than with the national championship game tonight.
I think it'll be very interesting to see how that all plays out. You have a very experienced coach when it comes to national championships in Roy Williams, and you have kind of a new coach entering the fray when it comes to the national championship picture in Jay Wright. Deepak, I got to ask you, and I know everybody's going to be asking this tonight, who comes out on top?
I've bet against Nova actually so many times this tournament. I mean, you look at my bracket. I just did not have them going far. But I'm going to say it right here, right now. Villanova coming out on top over UNC with a score of about 84-77. Very, very close game.
I think it'll be a very close game as well. It might even come down to the last shot.
It might.
We really don't know how it's going to turn out, but in my personal opinion, I give North Carolina the edge by a very slight margin. I got to go 86-83.
Okay.
I think it's going to come down to the last shot in Houston. Now, granted, you never know with the Villanova Wildcats. They have played one hell of a tournament. Both teams have played hell of tournaments. They have really kind of dominated on their path to this point. I think it'll be very interesting to see how that turns out. But Deepak, kind of just recapping the tournament as a whole, do you think it was a successful year for college basketball as a whole with this tournament?
I think college basketball as a whole in this tournament faced a whole lot of upsets, and that's what fans love to see. Obviously not when you're filling out your bracket and then everything goes to hell when Michigan State loses in the first round. So thank you there to Middle Tennessee State. But I think it really was what I can honestly say I expected, and I loved it. I mean, you come down and you look at your Final Four. Apart from Syracuse being that 10 seed, it's nothing out of the ordinary. You know, 2 number 2 seeds and a number 1 seed there as well.
I agree. I think it'll be very interesting tonight as the season comes to a close. But anyway, that's all the time we have for this edition of the college basketball segment. For Deepak, I'm Ryan. More Sports Zone coming to you after this.